different situations, you will opt for different, thought processes, like personal versus professional. And even in professional, if you are working for a, say, foreign Western business, vis-a-vis you are working for a Indian business, the answer for the same question in two different situations would be different. Like, for example, if you have to deal with a tax matter, some sort of refund you have to take from department, then we know that there is some X percentage that works. So, in one of the experiences for a Western business, when we had to get refund, we were asked, okay, आके मिल लो, बात कर लो, कि मैंने तो देख लिया है तो सब हो गया है. So, for that, you have to take a stand, ask whatever paper you want, keep it for as long as you want to keep the refund with you, but it has to be done, without any under the table or anything. Whereas if you are working for an Indian business, there is an Indian promoter, then I think churning that money fast and understanding what is the cost of capital in that scenario changes the decision making pattern.
If you introduce this idea of convenience in that question, if you ask that question in the context of convenience, most people will do the convenient thing, and it's all relative, right? Because human nature is take the path of least resistance, right? And so you have to ask the question: if everything is above board and well within the framework of what you're working in, what does it take to take that call that is not the obvious? You can sit in a room with a perfectly normal conversation and there's an obvious choice at the table, which is also the convenient choice. Are you that person who's going to stand up and say, no, I have a different point of view? And I think that is where courage comes in. And that is why there are those that stand out, and it's a high risk, high reward ecosystem, right? If you have the courage to stand out and say, I believe contrary or adjacent to what is actually being said, here is why, then that is the courage. And then the obvious and the right can be debated. And then the obvious could become the right and the right could become the obvious, right? And that is more often than not the situations we find ourselves. That is more often than not the situations we find our teams. It is a very easy for teams to just align. Like, I think all of us have ideological bunkers. We find safety in numbers. We'll go to 10 people saying, oh yeah, let's do it, fine. Now, the question then is, do you have the courage to fight the battle? Is that the battle you want to fight? And that's where that nuance of the situation you're in, and that's kind of where situational leadership comes into play, is this really the most critical, important thing I need to go after because it is the right thing to do and will lead to whatever output you're looking for? Or I can do with it just going one way. It doesn't have to be wrong. Yeah. It's not a right or wrong thing. I think that's what I find really fascinating in these situations.
So he used the word courage. So I'm reminded of a situation. So I work in ESG space, and we were working with a large Indian conglomerate. They were drafting their ESG policies. So one of their vendor was engaged in mining, and there were media reports that they were using child labors to do the mining. And the trade-off for them to decide not working with this vendor was quite huge, because the next obvious alternative option was quite high, and it was an Indian company. And I'm reminded of this story because of the word you used, courage. So the CFO we were engaging with, he said that, look, when we are drafting policies where it is a clear mandate that we will not work with a vendor who is not aligned with our policies, so be it. If my second option is way expensive than what it is for me. So there are options, examples like this also. So at the end of the day, somebody has to open the door, and then that will set the culture in the organization for others to follow.
I agree. Courage, and it can sometimes make you unpopular also. Yeah. So within your own system, you're making those tough decisions. I know what you said, tax refunds. Everybody faces it. Yes, CFO will jump at you. Okay, if you're the CFO. Your CFO will jump at the CEO. Because of you, I'm losing money. My money is stuck with the department. it will make you unpopular. Uh, but look, you need to draw the boundary. Like I said in the very beginning, there are other things. So we have, for example, on Posh, we have a very strict zero tolerance policy. Even if there's an oral complaint, we'll tell the person, okay, we are taking action starting now. We'll wait for the written complaint in a day or two, but action is being taken now. You may be the star performer, whatever in the system, that can wait. I'm ready to lose revenue because you will have to sit at home for a few weeks while the investigation goes on. And during that period, and I know it is tough, we've had one or two situations when the person suddenly shows up at your home and said, no, I can't talk. I'm not supposed to be talking to you. I will not talk to you. You were my buddy at work, but no. It is difficult. Staying on the right side can make you unpopular at times because you will need to once in a while make those calls.
I also recall, one very recent instance where uh, we had ordered some training uh, equipments from Australia. Uh, VV training equipments. They are called VV. So we had ordered them. The Australian company shipped it over, got stuck at customs. Right, even though everything was paid, got stuck at customs. Our customs, the vendor that deals with customs, kept on asking, "Itne de do," and like we will settle the matter. But because it is organizational, because we have strict rules and policies, we were like, no, since we have done all the paperwork, if customs feels that this paperwork is not enough and they are not ready to release the equipment, even though it costs us thousands of dollars, we will stick with what we feel is right. We ordered it the second time round, same situation happened. So we have two consignments stuck at Indian customs with our training equipment. But as an organization, we took a very firm stand saying, you want to keep it, keep it. We'll order it the third time with whatever additional paperwork you are asking us to provide, whether it is locally or internationally. But we'll do the right thing. We are not going to, disburse it the way you expect us to disburse.